Hello, everybody. It's Stephen and Walter here again for another episode of So Chatty, and today's going to be very chatty. And it is September the 26th, 2025. So happy first few days of fall. And wherever you are, I don't know where we are, it's very warm. It's actually 21 right now, Celsius. So,
Which is about 70 Fahrenheit.
yeah, thanks for the conversion there. Trying to change,
You gotta get people used to.
Well, the rest of the world is all on metric. There's only one
Yeah.
country basically that's not. So, and we know who you are, don't we? Yeah. So, anyways, today is all chat and random discussion. We're going to handle this sort of like a question thing. And the questions, I actually had Chat GPT create the questions. It is an amazing program, the AI. I went in, gave it the parameters, and said, I wanted this, this, and that, and the other thing, and it did. And it did it quite well. And every time I use it, it does things a little better than the time before. So, oh my God, Terminator. We're coming to that if you've seen that movie. But before we get on to how AI is going to take over our world, if it hasn't already, let's look at what I've been working on, what we've been working on. And here you go. So this is Stormy Sea. This is starting to look like a quilt. That is a really big piece that I finished up today. There are still many more blocks to go before this sucker is done, but it's starting to look like something. And I kind of like it. Do you like it?
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, it does. Now, there is something that's a little weird about this, and might as well point it out to you right now before you point it out, because Walter noticed it first thing, and I did too when I got this big centerpiece together. If you look up here in the, I'll move away from the center part, but here, you see there's these squares, right? Set as diamonds on the edges of this, and then next to it is another one, but there looks like there should be a point down here for each of those. And it looks weird. So I double checked it with the picture that came with it. Nope, that's exactly right. That's the way it's supposed to look. I don't know why. I think if I was designing this, I mean, it's tricky, this part in here. This is called the needle compass or something. Piece.
It may be they made it so that they want you to focus on that center part, and if you had the diamonds go into that part, it doesn't.
Maybe that's it. It just seems a little
like it's overlaying on top of it.
Yeah, and now that you see it that way, you can never get your eyes off that. So we'll see when we get the rest of it together. But it is not a mistake. It is definitely what they want, and so I'm following the pattern. So we'll see. But yeah, I think it'll look good when it's done. But there's still many more roads to go down before that, but it's coming. And so on a whim, they had a sale on at wasn't Sweet Pea, might have been, no, I don't think it was Juju, I'm not sure. Oh, it was Urban Threads. They're all, with the exception of Sweet Pea, they all seem to be owned by OESD. Like Urban Threads, and well, not Designs by Juju, but there's another Scissor Tails and stuff like that. They're all under this one umbrella of OESD, which is kind of weird. I don't know why, but it is. They may have been separate companies at one time. Maybe OSD bought them out and decided, for the sake of their database or whatever, to leave, them as separate sections. But anyways, there was a sale on this, and it's done in tiles and it's placemats. Now, originally, this is supposed to be a Halloween one. And they show it with a black background, and then they use sort of lighter shades of black and some plum color in the flowers and that, and yellow for the moons and the stars and what you see there. But there was also spider webs in amongst the corner pieces where the vines come out or the leaves come out of the flowers too. So what I did was, I didn't want it to be Halloween. So I just skipped over those stitches with it. Because I didn't really want Halloween placemats. And I was doing this sort of as a prototype to see if there's potential here to possibly make some placemats using this particular pattern to go with the table runner I'm making for Christmas for my hairdresser. The sage green stuff. I'm not so sure if I will, because I'm not fond of how this goes together because it's done in 4 tiles, and then you sew it together, and I've done that kind of thing before, but I don't know. I just
You kind of focus on that sewing line.
yeah, yeah, in the center there. So right now we're just using them for us. So I don't know if I'm going to go any further with this design. But anyways, if you're interested in this design, I think I may have put it in the show notes as well. I think it's still on sale. It's about $12 American, which is about 40% off, I think, on the sale, which is also another thing. This is kind of an expensive pattern, but I have noticed something lately too about these embroidery uh, things now. Their prices have all gone up. Now, why? Why would their prices go up? They are not affected by tariffs. These are files that you download. There is no physical product. I'm not buying thread from them. I'm not buying uh, fabric from them or anything like that. I'm just buying the file for my embroidery machine. And I've noticed this across, especially OESD. It's like everything has gone up in price.
Yeah, you think that these embroidery files are not like they're not a physical product,
No.
right? So,
And basically, once they have it in, whoever designs it for them, and they probably pay, I'm sure they do, they probably pay the person for their design, and they probably have a contract that says, now we can sell it on our site. They paid one price for it. That didn't change. So why are their prices going up?
well, maybe their operating costs have gone up and that you're offsetting them.
Maybe. Well, yeah, there's got to be a reason for it. But I've
Or they're
noticed
just
that.
getting greedy.
Well, I noticed that too. Well, with OESD, I wouldn't doubt that because they are a greedy company, in my opinion. Because they're always trying to flaunt you to buy. If you buy some pattern from them in a kit, and it comes, and they want you to buy like 5 different stabilizers for a project when you only need at the most 2. And they do this all the time. And their stabilizers are very expensive to buy it from them. They're branded for them, and they're no better than other stabilizers from other companies that might be even less expensive. I don't know. Not sure what their business plan is. Well, maybe it's just greed. So that could be it. But whatever. Anyways, I have noticed that with them. So, okay. So that's what I've been working on. You can't see it right now, but I'm putting together Dracula's Castle, which is a 3D printing project. And you'll see that on my vlog probably next week or the week after that. Depends on how long it takes me to put it all together. Some assembly required. Okay, so what have you been working on?
Oh, I don't know. Off and on, I've been working on your shirt.
Oh.
I've got it done to the point where I have to just hem it and put the buttons on.
Oh, okay, we're almost there. Any holes in it?
Nope.
Okay, good. Well, you'll get to see that whenever I premiere it when he gets it done. All right, so announcements, Sewing with Steven, Wednesdays as usual. Everything's in the show notes for that. Fall retreat is October the 25th. Things are coming together very nicely with it. I've been working on it off and on, and if you saw So Chatty last week, you saw the behind the scenes of how to plan a retreat. Just found out today that my local quilt store is having an in-person retreat on the same weekend as I'm having my retreat. Not that it's going to affect my retreat in any way, but I just thought I'll have to rattle their chain when next time I'm in the store and go, how dare you? How dare you have your in-person retreat when I'm having mine? And I'll get them all worried because I won't laugh. I'll just look at them. I'll just say, I'm very upset. And I know one lady in there, she'll get really uptight when I do that and go, oh, well, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Sometimes it's fun to rattle people's chains. Okay, pop-up sew day. Yes, we're having one very soon, October the 11th. Saturday, October the 11th. So what's that, 2 weeks? 2 weeks away? Yeah, about 2 weeks away. So a few days before that date, I will have everything in the show notes, the links to that. And if you've never been to a pop-up sew day, it is what it says. We just sew all day and have fun. You don't have to register for it. It's come and go as you please. Work on whatever you want to work on. It's just fun. Okay, I think that's all the announcements. Do you have any announcements? No, you're not having a baby. Walter made chicken soup. Yesterday we got a bargoon on chicken. We were at Costco, and you know how Costco has those rotisserie chickens, which are like ridiculously cheap, like $7.99. But we found chickens that were even cheaper. What was it?
Actually, it was sometimes when Costco has a bunch of chickens left over from the day before, they put them out on in the refrigerated area for
reduced price.
reduced prices.
So their $7.99 chicken we got for $5.99. So we bought two. And that's a really good deal. In fact, we were in the one of the discount grocery stores in our area, like a no frills kind of a thing, if you know what that is. And I was looking at their chickens for a whole chicken, which are smaller than Costco's chickens. It was $15.99. Like, wow.
That's regular price.
Yeah, it's regular price, but not Costco's regular price.
No.
So
Well, Costco's sort of like either breaking even or losing.
well, they're losing money on them because I saw a documentary on that. It's a thing that gets people in, and they're very popular. Well, yeah, at that price, and they're good.
Yeah, and occasionally we've noticed that they've had these other chickens with it, and they're fine. They're not. They're just they just cooked too many the night before. So
Yeah, they've been kept cold and everything like that. So we bought two, and we got two chickens, and they're bigger than the one I saw in the grocery store that was $15.99. So we got like for what, $5.99, $12.
yeah, $12.
We got two big chickens.
Yeah.
And then Walter did something to them.
Well, I cut them up. I take the legs off and I package them and freeze them. And I cut the white meat off and package them.
They put up an awful fuss when he does that.
Freeze it so that we'll have, like, we decide to make a hot chicken sandwich one night, we can take the white meat out and do that, or we often just have the dark meat for a meal.
Yeah, we'll eat the leg each and a wing.
Yeah. And so
that gets us right there. That gets us usually if we have the leg and a wing on one night, and there's two of us, so there's dinner one night, and then we'll use the chicken breast for, like Walter said, hot chicken sandwich or something, and usually there's leftovers from that, so there's two more.
Yeah,
like,
and leftovers from that usually we make into chicken salad for sandwiches the next day.
So there's five. So basically we can get 5 meals out of a chicken, but then there's a bonus.
No, how do you get 5 meals out of a chicken? You get 2 meals.
I mean, counting the two. Okay,
You said we'll get 5 meals.
I meant like chickens. Okay, 3 meals for you, 3 meals for me. You get chicken and wing one night for one person.
Okay.
One person. Okay, but the chickens have 2 legs and 2 wings.
Yeah. Okay.
So you get a wing and a leg. I get a wing and you get a leg. Yo, everybody, look under your chair. There's a chicken. Then the breast meat we have another night, and when you slice it up, and usually we both get enough of that for a hot chicken sandwich, and then from that there's usually bits and pieces left over that you make into chicken salad for chicken salad sandwiches. So basically out of one chicken for 2 people we get 3 meals.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 2 chickens, so 6 meals. 6 meals for $12. That's $2 a meal. Okay.
Well, you're not counting your vegetables and your.
Well, no, I'm talking the chicken. You know. Good God.
But then we even got more because
we have bonus. Bonus. Walter boiled the crap out of what was left of the chicken when he picked off the legs and stuff and separated it and made chicken soup. How much chicken soup did you get?
I got 4 large containers.
So, 4 large containers. So that's at least 4 meals, possibly a little bit more, because usually one of those containers we can usually get like a couple of servings each out of it, right? So bargain, really. So if you see Costco chicken reduced for quick sale, grab it. Of course, if you're somebody like his sister who hates,
my sister won't eat a whole chicken. She
won't eat dark meat.
She won't eat dark meat. So she doesn't buy whole chicken. She doesn't buy chicken thighs or anything like that. She only buys chicken breasts. That's all she eats.
So, and I'm sure some of you in the southern part of the United States are going, oh, that chicken would be great with waffles. And that putrid white gravy. That isn't gravy. It's not even a sauce. I don't know what it is. It's disgusting. But I know a lot of you just absolutely gobble it right up. You love it. You love it.
I mean, we're a little worried about what we're going to eat in Japan,
Yeah.
but it could be worse when you go to the southern states.
Yeah. Well, Southern cooking, I'm not sure about that, but I guess it's whatever you get used to. Now, actually, we're being a little unfair here because, to be honest, we've actually never ever had that white
I've
gravy.
had it.
What,
It's
when
kind
you?
of a long time ago when I had one of those chicken fried steaks or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Don't like
Nah,
those.
no thanks.
No, no. But anyways, whatever. Okay, so that was our invention, our journey into culinary arts on the cheap side. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? Well, I said it's all chat and random discussion, and we're going to look at some things about quilting and other things too. We're just going to talk about it. Like, so, you might want to pause this for a moment here. Grab yourself a cup of coffee or whatever time of day it is, a glass of wine,
I go to bed and
or go to beds and we'll put you to sleep, whatever on that, because we're just going to chit chat, chit chat. And Walter will spend most of his time correcting everything that I say. So get ready for that. There'll be a lot of eye rolling in this. All right. So I kind of divided it into some sort of loosely some categories. So first of all, we started talking about tariffs there just at the first for the embroidery stuff, but that brings up the whole thing about fabric buying. And a lot of people, there are some things on YouTube now. There was one lady was talking about the effect of tariffs on quilters when it comes to buying fabric. And the thing is, fabric is, for the most part, is not manufactured either in the United States or in Canada. It may be distributed, it may actually be printed, some of it, but the majority of the fabric, all the basics of it all, they come from Indonesia, India, China, those kind of places. So they are affected by tariffs. But we've also noticed that prices are going up. So are you worried about tariffs on fabric prices?
I don't know. I mean, for us, we as Canadians, we don't tariff. Um, I think we have a small tariff on China, but that's always been in place.
Yeah, it's always been in place for stuff that.
So, I mean, unless for some reason we're affected by something that gets shipped through the United States or something like that, that's the only thing that may be of concern.
Yeah, that might be. So if let's say some of the big ones like Missouri Star Quilt, Fat Quarter Shop, or those, if they have to order, but they will order it from the big manufacturers like Riley Blake and all those ones. But those ones would probably be affected by tariffs coming in because the raw material and stuff like that. So that's
It
going to
depends
affect their
on where
price.
we get our fabric sourced from. Like, I mean, it used to be some of our stores, I thought, bought from American suppliers. And if
Yeah,
that's the case, then we would be affected
then
by
we'll be
tariffs. Yeah.
because they'll pass on what they have to pay extra in
Yeah.
tariffs in the States.
But I don't know how that exactly works or how the distribution of fabric works.
Well, we're still not absolutely sure whether there are going to be any tariffs on fabric. Although, according to this one thing I saw on YouTube, this woman, she's a retired buyer for a company like, I don't know if it was actually Riley Blake, but it was for one of those kind of companies. And she's pretty certain that the prices are going to go way up very soon. She said, like within the next month or so. Um, Fabric prices have been creeping up over the last year, even before the tariff situation. They have been going up in price here. I mean,
we purchase, if in Canada we purchase fabric straight from China or wherever, and it gets distributed in Canada, then we shouldn't have any
no.
problem with the tariffs, right? But if for some reason we purchase from an American supplier, right, then and that American supplier would be hit by tariffs
Yeah.
from China
Yeah.
or wherever it shipped from, right? And if we in turn buy it from that supplier, we might be
Well, indirectly it will stop. But
yeah.
I guess what I'm thinking, moving away from tariffs a little bit, just in general, since COVID, the prices on fabric have been slowly creeping up and up. I mean, what we used to get here at like 17, $18 a meter, most of the fabric we're buying now is more like 21, 22, $23 a meter. So it's gone up.
Yeah, and if you look at our food prices have gone up.
Yeah.
I mean, U.S. does too. U.S. food prices have obviously gone up, but our Canadian food prices have gone up too.
Yeah.
So,
So
I mean, if food's gone up, then it would seem to be go hand in hand that your fabric would go up as
yeah, well, everything goes up in price. We know that. It doesn't matter what. Nothing is what it was back in the day. When I could buy a loaf of bread for a nickel. Yeah, or whatever. But now, so we have slowed down on buying fabric, but it's not just because of the price. So that is a factor. You do walk in now and I look at it and go, the days of when I dropped several $1,000s on a weekend trip in fabric stores, I haven't done that in a long time. Part of it is because of I'm not getting as much bang for my buck. But I have tons
Yeah,
of fabric.
Same with me. I buy fabric faster than I use it. So I really need to bring myself in. So now I'm trying to only buy stuff that I really feel that I need.
Yeah, well, I look at it now and go, okay, we're about to go this weekend. There's a shop hop. And we talked about this last night.
Should we go?
Should we go or shouldn't we go? Because neither one of us feel like dropping a whole lot of money on fabric that we really don't have any purpose for it, like no definite. I mean, that never used to bother me. They'd always walk into a store and there'd be some woman standing there when I'm getting my fabric cut and go, oh, that's pretty. What are you going to do with it? And I go, anything I want. Well, why'd you buy it? It's pretty. Well, not so much anymore. I'm still attracted to the prettiness of it, but I kind of stop myself now and go, but wait, is this just going to sit on my shelf forever? Because I have a lot of fabric like that.
I mean, yeah, I have the same thing. I bought stuff that I thought I was going to immediately make it into a shirt. And then now it's just sitting there. And now some of the stuff, I look at it and I go, oh, what was I thinking when I bought that?
Well, that's why I've started the segment on Idiot Quilter called What's Twisting My Seams? Where, people send in pictures and talk about, why did they buy this? Because they're not in love with it anymore. But at the time, and I've got lots of that too, and I've shown a few of those on the Idiot Quilter. But yeah, I think price makes you think twice. But there's another thing too. I am not, and maybe it's because I've bought so much fabric over the last few years, I'm not seeing anything that's really turning my crank. It's not getting me that excited. Now, having said that, I did show on Idiot Quilter back a week or two ago, the one they call with the cat panel, and I bought the matching fabric to go with it. Sunny with the sunflower, I think it was called. But that's the first fabric I've seen that got me kind of like, ooh, I really like that. I should do something with it. And it was more or less because of the panel, because I really like the panel. And that's the same with Abracadabra, the Halloween one. But I'm not seeing any fabric out there that's getting me like really going. Everything's starting to look the same. It's just, it's like K-facet fabric. Why do you recognize K-facet fabric without a sign saying it's K-facet? Because it all looks the same. Yes, it's pretty. It's what was my very first quilt was made with
But it
K-facet.
almost looks dated now, I think.
It does. It does. And I think he has come out with a couple of new lines, but they're just a variation on the same old thing. And this is what's happening with a lot. Like Tula Pink. I mean, I admire her artistic ability, and it's great. I mean, Gray Work, her new line that she's come out with.
Yeah, I would want to get some of that.
That one does turn my crank.
That appeals to me because it's black and white and gray, and it has subtle color in some of them. And
it's little pops of color.
I like that.
And also, what turned me onto it was when I saw the shirt that Adam made from it. With that, I really like that shirt, and so that I'd probably buy some of that. But Tulip Pink's expensive. I mean, she's designer always. Wherever you go to buy it, you're not going to get Tulip Pink cheap. It's always going to be on the upper end of the price scale there. But, maybe that's what you have to do too. If you see something you really, really like, that's what you focus your attention on. Don't do what I used to do and go, oh, give me that, 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 wrap it. That I would just like, oh yeah, I love that. Wrap it, cut it, through all caution to the wind. Now, so you know that we're going to Japan next spring. And I know people will be asking us, so are you going to be buying fabric in Japan? Well, what do you think?
I think we should look.
We'll look.
We'll look around, but only if it's something that's outstanding or something that I really want to get.
Well,
maybe we should focus. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to have to buy stuff and lug it around with me.
Well, no, that's the other thing. Plus, it'll have to be for me something that one really speaks to me, and two is very unique in that this is not something I can readily get over here. That's what I said when we went to Birmingham and to Liberty of London, too. Same thing. I mean, what's the point?
I mean, the holiday is not necessarily for
it's not a fabric
sewing holiday.
Yeah, and I imagine, now I haven't really gone online and looked around or see it, but I imagine fabric in Japan is very expensive. Maybe not. I mean, they're closer to where boutiques and that are made, so I don't know.
Could be that they're not really that bad.
I don't know. But I guess we'll find out. But we really haven't done any internet searches to really check that out to see.
We'd have to. I haven't really done any internet searches as to where fabric stores are. I think that Tokyo does have a fabric district.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure they do because they sew. They make things and that over there too. I think though what I have heard is Japanese don't necessarily make quilts the way we think of quilts here in North America. They tend to do very small artistic pieces. They are more for display. They're not bed quilts. Now I could be wrong about that, but that's what I saw some YouTube videos back some time ago about that and how, this very fine, it's art. For them it is pure art. And they make little tiny things. And in one video I saw, they said because of the price of the fabric, and two, they don't live in gigantic places where they, everything that they have, they're very minimalistic about things. And we've been finding that out with the more research we do about Japan, like hotel rooms and things like that. You don't go over there and expect that you're going to have North American standard large rooms in your hotel or that.
I mean, that's also the case if you go to Europe.
Well,
if you go to Europe, you can't expect a big hotel room.
No. But I think...
I mean, you can get them. You just have to pay normally.
Yeah. But I think the whole mentality or philosophy of Japanese people is less is more.
And I think they also like to utilize everything they can.
Yeah.
Like it's... they don't like to have a lot of waste.
No, so I mean, imagine now it brings up the whole question of sustainability in garment and fabric, textile use. I don't know. Well, that's something we may find out when we go over there. Okay, so moving away from fabric buying, next thing I have is this big category called future plans and ideas. And I already mentioned that we're doing a shop hop tomorrow, we think. Local quilt shows. I said to Walt the other day, I know that you like us to show you quilt shows on here. I mean, I can see the number of views for like when I put up the Birmingham one and the one when we went to Buckhorn, the little place too. You made a lot of comments saying you really enjoyed that. You'd like that. Well, we do have an opportunity, and right now we're tentatively planning to attend another quilt show that's in another small place that's north of Toronto, but that's not till November the 1st. and it's a local guild, their show or whatever. And in fact, there was a lady who belongs to that guild came over to us when we were having lunch in Buckhorn at the last one, and she knew that we were filming it, and I guess she knew that we had a YouTube channel or whatever, and we were showing them that. So she invited us to come to this. She gave us their little poster and everything, and that, and she says, I hope you'll be able to come and that. And I said, well, if we do, I'll record it. And that seemed to thrill her. So yeah. But I'm thinking we need to find more of these shows and kind of make a point of going to them if they're, not like in Timbuktu or whatever, and record them. Because here in our area, we don't have large quilt shows at all. If there's a quilt show, it's put on by a local guild. It's not like QuiltCon or the Birmingham Festival of Quilts or any of those kind of things. They're very small. A lot of times they're at country fairs, things like that. But guilds do put on their own quilt show, not necessarily every year. Sometimes they do it every other year or every 3 years, and it's a moneymaker for them to keep the guild going, kind of thing. So, yeah, we are getting into the season now for quilt shows right now. The fall is usually very good for that. So we'll have to look around and see. I will be, though, recording if we go in the shop hop, and so you get to see there's 4 stores involved. They're kind of spread out from each other. It's a all-day adventure. But I will record them, and you'll get a chance to see what we see. Okay, so future projects. Do you have any future projects? Things that you would like to try?
Yeah, there's I'd like to get away from shirts for a little while. I want to do a jacket, but more like a fleece type jacket or something like that.
What, like quilted jacket?
No, right now just a fleece type jacket, like and maybe eventually a quilted jacket. I'm not sure. I have a jacket pattern. I want to try and do something with it. Maybe we talked about pants.
Yeah.
I should try a pair of pants again. I made a pair of pants once a while ago, and
Do you ever wear them?
I occasionally wear them. Actually, I don't really like. They're probably too big on me now, but
Who's bragging now?
I'm not sure if I like the material I used. I was suggested I buy a certain type of material, and I used it, and I don't like the feel of the material. It's a stretchy cotton twill, and it's clingy.
Clingy.
I don't really
Clings
like
in all the wrong spots.
I mean, it's okay. The pants are okay that I made. I'd use that pattern again. I think I just use a different type of material, I think.
I was thinking more or less that if we ever had to go someplace where I needed to wear something a little bit more dressy, all I have for dressy is
we'll
black
have to
jeans.
go buy a pair.
I hate going to buy because they never fit right. Because you walk into these damn stores and it's all like slim fit. They're all designed for your 20 something that are like little string pulls, kind of a thing, and whatnot.
There's no old man fit.
Well, I prefer what they call classic fit, but whatever. Well, I would like, and I say this all the time, and I just need to just do it. I want to make an art quilt. I want to take fabrics, just go through my stash of fabrics, find 4 or 5 fabrics that sort of coordinate together, and just cut them up and sew them together. Well, a little bit more than that. Like take them, like get into curves a little bit more and do something like that. And I have tried this before, but I don't get very far with it because I get stalled out. I start to look, oh, this is going to be a mess because I am so analytical when it comes to like, I need I can create my own patterns, but to do improvised quilting.
You mean you're too stuck on traditional craft?
Well, I'm too stuck on symmetry. Yeah, kind of a thing. And I mean, I've made scrap quilts before, but that's not what I'm thinking of making.
Crap quilts.
Yeah, I know you do. Maybe it's because of your lovely words of encouragement that makes me to explore this further. Not, but I don't know how to go about it. Now, I've mentioned this to some people before. Um, our friend Pat, who does a lot of art quilts and does a really sensational job, and you've probably seen some of her creations on the Idiot Quilter because I have shown them before. She says you just do it. Just don't think about it. Just do it. It'll come together. I have a hard time with randomness. That's my problem. But I want to give it a try. And maybe if I can just get over the hump of that, just throw one day to say, okay, no matter what, I'm going to do a small wall hanging here quilt. And I'm just going to throw things up on my design board and move them around and sew junk together and possibly recut. And I don't know. I'll see. But in the meantime, I have these other patterns I want to get to, and I always use those as an excuse for not doing the other stuff. That's something I want to do. And something else too. I need to do something with all my quilts that I have in storage. And I don't know what to do with them. I mean, how many quilts can you put on display in your home? We have no wall space, for one thing. I've given some away. But it is not easy to give away a quilt, I have found. Because, first of all, if they're already a quilter, they don't want one of yours. They make their own. But random people, even relatives.
And they get picky as to what they, huh?
Yeah, or, you can hear it in their voice. Oh, a blanket. It's not a blanket. It's a quilt. So, you've heard me say before, are they quilt worthy? And we've all been down that route. And some people will be oh, isn't this nice? Oh, and it's going in the back of a closet. It's never going to see light. So is there any difference between it going in the back of a closet than being stuck in my storage bags? So I don't know. And because of that, and I have a lot of quilts that I've made over the last few years, I've slowed down on quilt making because I get going, well, I'm making this because I like the pattern and everything, but I don't have a practical purpose for it. And what am I going to do with it? And like when I'm done a quilt, I'm done a quilt. I mean, okay, that's nice. Fold it up. Bye-bye. Move on to the next project kind of thing. And yeah, I know somebody out there is going to say, well, what about charities? Well, I've had this discussion with you all
Yeah,
before.
it's not that easy.
No, because charities tend to be very picky too about what they want.
And you don't get a lot of thank you.
And I'm sorry, but they got to thank me. They do. It's just required. It's like I said to Walter, I just remembered I donated a quilt to our local senior citizens community center. I have donated one to them before for an auction they have to make money for it. And I know someone probably bought it, but I'd like to know how much was raised from it. And we asked our next door neighbor a few months ago about it, and he said, oh, he wasn't sure. He'd look into it. Well, we haven't heard any word back from it since and sort of forgot about it. Maybe it's better not to know how much money they raised from it because, they raffle it. People buy tickets. It's not an auction, actually. It's a raffle. So, and the people buying the tickets are, it's not out there for the whole world kind of a thing. It's kind of a closed group. So I don't know. Whatever. But it would be nice to know. But I find in general charities are not very charitable. They don't thank you. And yes, we need to be thanked when we give things to them. So except for Quilts of Valor. Quilts of Valor I have no problem with whatsoever. Because I know those are appreciated. And that's why I've been putting more of my focus on, except for this big one that Walter's making me make. Right, that I showed you earlier. Didn't like the one that's on the bed. So, okay, something that yeah, Walter says this all the time. He never does anything. Cleaning up our sewing areas. I need to do a purge. You probably need to do a purge. Closest you came to cleaning it up is when they came in and put in the new windows, when you had to move stuff away so they could get at the window. But yeah, I need to go through my cupboards down here. I'm out of space. And I've got a lot of stuff.
And we're going shopping tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the other thing why I don't want to buy. 'Cause, where am I going to put it? Literally, where am I going to put it? I do have a couple of cupboards down here that still have some old craft supplies in it that I don't know. I purged those out years ago, but it's time to do another purge and, get
And
rid of
have you
things.
used those craft supplies?
Nope.
No.
That's what I mean. I need to do a purge. Um, or I don't know. I could probably take a big box of them down to Carol at the local scrapbooking store there and see if she wants any of them back for her classes or things that she does all the time. I don't know. Most of the stuff I bought from her anyways, so she'd be getting it back. But yeah, I need to do that, and I need to organize my fat quarters again because I had them all organized, but you know what happens when you put fabric away? You're finished with it, you kind of ball it up and stick it in a drawer wherever you can get it in. Your stuff, you've got like piles of fabric. You were talking about using the comic book thing. Did you order comic book cardboard?
No, I didn't. No.
I have some.
No, it's okay. I'll have to figure that out at some point.
You wrap the fabric
Yeah,
around
yeah,
the comic book. Well, I was talking
Well,
about them, not you.
That'll work on the IKEA one that I've got. The IKEA.
Oh yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But the other bookcase I have has really deep shelves. That won't work.
Deep.
Deep as in like they're like this deep, right? The IKEA bookcase I have is like only a little.
Oh.
But
Oh,
it
okay.
works with the comic book shelves. But then if I did it with the other one, I get 2 rows. The problem is with 2
Well, you won't
rows,
be able to see that.
the second row I won't be able to see it.
No, that won't work. But anyways, I do need to do a purge because it's good to purge. Let's see. New gadgets in the future. Well, I have all the gadgets, but I have played every now and then with the idea, do I want a new sewing machine? Do I want an M8? My M7 is great. I love my M7. Or a straight stitch. Like
Yeah, I've thought of that.
the HD, what is it, HD9 by Janome?
HD9, yeah. The only thing is they take different bobbins, right?
Yes, I know.
I thought of that because because a lot of the stuff I do for shirts is just straight stitch.
Yeah. But then I wouldn't want to replace my M7.
Yeah, same with the 6700P is because I have other stitches on there like zigzag and buttonholes and stuff like that, whereas a straight stitch, again, I don't think it does. No, it doesn't. It won't do buttonholes and stuff like that because you need the needle has to move to do buttonholes.
But I'm also not like an is it HD9?
I think so.
Is a really fast machine because it's industrial. Like I'm not that fast a sewer. Like I would never use it at its full speed. And I don't have a problem with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I hear a lot of people talk about how they have so much trouble with a 1/4 inch seam allowance on their sewing machines. And I don't understand that because I'm not now. Okay, let me back up. I did have a problem with that at one point. I thought I was doing it right, but my blocks would never come out to the size that it would be suggested in the pattern. Like if it said your final block should be trimmed to 8.5 by 8.5 square. Well, my blocks were coming out like 8.25 inch square. And I'm trying to figure out, why am I losing 1/4 inch? And at the time, I was using the foot that has the little blade, the little edge guide on the side of it. And to keep it straight, because that was supposed to give you a nice 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then somebody said to me, you got to watch that. It flexes. Well, you can't see your fabric right under the needle because of where that is, and your fabric could shift a little bit to the left, and that will give you less than 1/4 inch. Maybe by 1 thread, maybe by 2 thread widths, or whatever. But that's enough to throw all your measurements out. And the other thing I did learn, and I used to poo-paw, was I use steam on everything. I was getting those suckers to lay down flat, so I'd be taking them out from the machine and, doing the fold over for the seam and go, press it, high steam.
And that's the case if you don't pre-wash your fabrics.
Yes.
If you pre-wash your fabrics, I don't think you'd have the same thing.
No, because you've already pre-shrunk it.
Yeah.
But that's what it said. The steam was shrinking my fabric. And so my size was coming out. But I said poo-poo to that for a long time. And then one of the projects I was working on, I was having this problem again. And I decided, okay, I'm not going to use steam. Bingo. Yeah. So I think actually for me, it was the steam more so than the little guide on the foot. But on my M7, I have what they call the high performance plate and foot. HP they call it. And the HP foot gives you a 1/4 inch. When you line it up on the edge of the foot, you get a 1/4 inch seam allowance. In fact, I think it's set up so that you're getting a scant 1/4 inch, which is even a little better. Because I use 50 weight Aurifil. Now, other people will use a thinner thread. They'll use like a 60 or an 80, and they swear by that for getting a really accurate 1/4 inch seam allowance. I just stick to the 50 weight. That's what I've used since day one, and I like it. It works for me. So I don't have a trouble with getting a straight seam, or a 1/4 inch. But the HD9 that's what it does.
I mean, the one good thing too about the fixed needle machines is that because the needle doesn't move at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a tendency to go out of whack.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But then again, okay, so let's say I bought one of those machines. Where the hell am I going to put it?
Yeah, I know.
I've got no room for it. I have a table over there that has my projects on it, but then I have to put them somewhere. But so really, and as far as the M8 is concerned, every now and then you look at your sewing machine, and even though you're happy with it and the whole bit, you get an itch for something new. It's like buying a new car.
Yeah, I know. I've thought of it too, but the thing is that my 6700P, I really like it, and I had thought of buying a smaller machine just if I go to a retreat or something like that, right? Because the one I have is kind of on the heavy side, right? But then I know for sure that I'd be ticked off when I go into a smaller machine.
Yes.
When I'm sewing, even if it's at a retreat and it's easier to lug it with.
Also, on your main machine, that's when you use the most you're most comfortable with. I find that it takes me a little while when I take my travel machine, which is a nice machine. It's a Janome S7. It sews great, and it's a nice machine, but I don't use it very often. It sits in my travel case for it, and I don't go to classes or to retreats very often. So, literally, I haven't touched that machine in probably, last time I used that machine was, I was going to say it was over a year ago, but it was when we went to Dahlonega last Christmas.
What, you mean the 7?
Yeah, my S7.
S7, yeah. See, I kind of like that one, the S7, but then that's not much smaller than my 6700.
No, it's not, but it is a little lighter.
Yeah.
But it's a nice machine. But then when it takes me about a half an hour or so of sewing to get used to it again, because I'm used to where all the buttons are on my M7, and then you go, and I find myself hitting, what? There's not a button here. What's going on? Where is that? So yeah, it's coming out of the closet in a couple of weeks' time when I go to your in-person sew day with it. So I'll be taking that. But so really, no, at what machines are costing now, that's another thing that's gone up in price. Machines are expensive.
Yeah, I think you purchased that 6700P for like $2,400, $2,500 plus tax.
Yeah, it was under $3,000.
Yeah, and now they're running at almost $4,000 for the same machine. So,
but it's a good machine. I mean, that was my first real machine, and then you got it and do that, and it's, I don't know if it's ever been in the shop for any too long.
I've never taken it in.
No, in fact, there's something we were going to talk about cleaning, giving it a deep cleaning like I did on my machines. It would be really interesting to see how much stuff is actually in that machine.
Yeah, we did.
Did we do yours?
Back. Yeah.
Did we do it?
There wasn't that much in it. Yeah.
Oh.
We did it. We did it on camera. You've got it somewhere on here somewhere.
Well, I don't remember much beyond a day. Not that. So I'm old. Forgive me. My brain's on other things. Okay, so as far as any other gadgets and that, there hasn't been anything new under the sun, really. I mean, I have a long arm, I have an embroidery machine. Now, some people say to me every now and then, so when are you going to get a multi-needle embroidery machine? Never.
I've looked at them too,
Yeah.
and they're just too expensive. And the other thing
Yeah.
is that you still have to put the thread in all the needles.
Yeah, it takes you a while to get it all threaded.
Um, uh, so it switches, and a lot of the ones, unless you get one that has like 15 threads in it, and they're like major
Or
expensive.
21. But yeah, the more needles, the more expensive.
But they're quite pricey, and they're heavy. You gotta have a place
Yeah.
to put them, and some of them don't have that huge a hoop that
No.
goes in them.
Yes,
So
so yeah, I don't
it's a
think
lot of money.
so.
It's a lot of money.
If I was doing it as a business, if I was doing like the same design over and over again, multiple times and everything, where I
Yeah,
could just
if
set
you're
up and
doing
go.
mass production of stuff or something like that, or you did custom ball caps or something like that for people or something, maybe if it was a business, that would be
Yeah, but
worthwhile.
I'm
But
not a business, and I'm not intending to open one anytime soon. So really, there isn't any new gizmos on the market that I want. I have a serger that I never use. You already have a serger, a cover stitch machine, your sewing machine, an embroidery
the
machine.
only thing I have thought of getting is a more advanced cover stitch machine, because the one that I have actually I don't even use it much anymore
Oh,
for hemming and stuff like that, because the shirts I wear it's not on stretchy fabric, right?
hmm.
It's really more designed for stretchy fabric. So if I would started getting into doing more stretchy fabric, I think I would like to invest in the one that I've got is pretty basic, a better quality cover stitch machine.
Well, so I've mentioned my idea for an art quilt or whatever, and we've talked a little bit about you making jacket or something. With my mind, that would transfer over to something we could do in a collaboration with each other. Um, I'll make the fabric, you do the jacket, kind of a thing. I, embroider or not embroider, I would use the long arm for all of that. And speaking of the long arm, so you keep talking about wanting to play with Lucy.
Yeah, we need to do that at some point.
Yeah, you need to do that at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my other plans for the future is get you on Lucy. You get very confident in it. I'll make the tops. You can quilt them for me. I think that would be the perfect relationship. Because I'll be honest, I don't care for it, using it. Well, that's not true. I'm glad I have it. What I don't like about a long arm is the setup. The setup takes you a while. To get your layers and everything down on it. And
Picky.
well, you
Well, how
tried.
was it for when you used to have to layer your
Well,
quilt?
well, you want to know something? I did not say. I guess it's better, of course, on a long arm than trying to spread this big thing out and layer it. And I was using basting sprays and making a nest out of a whole bunch of folding tables around me and trying to get it underneath the needle and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's much better than that. But it's also, well, okay, Lucy cooperates more now, but I think that's because I'm better.
Becoming more patient.
Well, I'm not doing as many stupid things as I did before, but there's always an opportunity for me to do something like that in the future and to curse and swear and yell at Lucy, and then she gets all temperamental and hyper with me and just refuses to do things that she's supposed to do. But I still don't like. I'm sure if I could get into free motion quilting with it, I know the people who do, beautiful free motion quilting with their long arm and they absolutely love it. But that's why they do such a beautiful job, because they have practiced and practiced and practiced and they know what they're doing. I don't have that kind of patience for it. I'm an instant gratification kind of guy. I want it done now. That's why you have the computer on the long arm, because I always knew I would have a computer on the long arm, and I got it pretty quick too. I mean, I was doing those paper pantographs and following. Oh, that's a pain in the butt. I'm not good at coloring inside the lines. And there you are. oh shit, I've got the wrong one, and all that kind of stuff. So I do like the computer for it. But there are those who would say, well, what skill is that? Well, there's a certain amount of skill, but it's technical skill. It's not more fluid artistic skill like that.
The
Somebody does
AI
that.
version of
Yeah, right.
quilting.
You know, and I wish they'd hurry up with the AI on long arms so you could just walk in and go, okay, AI, load the machine, fine. I want a pattern that looks like this, that, and the other thing, edge to edge. I'll be back in an hour, make sure it's done. I'm having lunch. Yeah. And although that maybe sounds like fantasy, it may not be yet. I mean, after all, weren't self-driving cars a fantasy at one point in time? Parking assist?
It still is a fantasy.
Well, yeah, it is. They'll get better. So yeah, it would be very helpful if you played with Lucy more. I mean, I'll help you. I'll show you how to set it up. And then you can just, and I mean, I have rulers, and I have the ruler platform for it, because you mentioned that at one time you might want to try that. So, and then of course, future plans that concern the channel. Coming up with topics, especially for So Chatty, it's not easy. And that's why we always make an appeal for you to send us your thoughts, which you'd like to see. We don't do demos. Well, we do demos on certain things, but we don't do tutorials.
Yeah, tutorials are hard. Like even, well, we talked about the bags at one point.
Yeah. We haven't got that yet, have we?
No. A tutorial. I'm not a tutorial. I don't think I could do a tutorial.
The things with the tutorial is we could do them, but I always think that we're just reinventing the wheel, because there are so many tutorials out there on everything.
Yeah, one of the problems I have with showing how to do the bags and stuff like that is that I don't have a pattern.
No.
Right? And I don't really want to make a pattern.
No.
Because I vary the size of my fabric all the time when I make a bag. So
what we call it improv bag making.
I just know sort of how to do it, so I just do it. And that's the problem. If I show how to do it, then everybody wants a recipe.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't really have a recipe for it. It's sort of like I know how to make it.
But we could still, we've talked about this before, about doing the video of this, and we can. But the way I would do it is, first of all, there would be some prep before we go to camera with it, because you don't want to see the mundane stuff. But it would be you telling me what I would need to do, kind of thing. Thing is, we need to do this over several days, and then put it all together as one video, and that's the problem, because I'm a morning person, Walter's a night person. So yeah, like I'm best in the morning at things like this. By the afternoon, I'm a little tired and my brain doesn't function much at that point, and I just want to lay on a couch
and
watch a docu-nap.
I use different interfacings for different parts and the bag. And because I use all this interfacing, the bag ends up being really heavy when it's done. So it's a heavy bag.
Yeah, so what's wrong with that?
No, but it's very sturdy bag as well.
Yeah, sturdy is what you should say. It's not heavy, it's sturdy.
And by the time you're done with the bag, it costs an arm and a leg to make. So.
Well, yeah, but anything in this, but that's not the point. The point is to show people how you do it. And I think, yes, people want a pattern. They'll just have to understand, follow the video.
And you're going to have to make your own decisions, as to, you don't have to use exactly the same interfacing I use. You can use whatever you've got laying around, whatever works for you. But I'll show you what I do. And I do vary it from bag to bag, because I mean, I may one day
because he forgot what he was doing.
Yeah, or
because he didn't write it down.
Or I'll do sometimes I use interfacing on the lining, sometimes I don't, so
Well, sometimes you feel like an interface.
sometimes
Sometimes
you
you
feel
don't.
like a nut, sometimes
Sometimes
you
you
don't.
don't. Yeah. But anyways, it's coming. But we like your suggestions because they give me ideas that I can develop into something a little bit more. Even the simplest of ideas, sometimes I can make into the most complex of topics. But whatever. But it's not easy to come up with it all the time. Um, so moving away from future plans, but technology. I am still kind of future plans, but I don't know where to go with this. I still would like to be able to marry my love of quilting with my love of 3D printing. That goes beyond doing things like making seam rippers and thread buckets, stuff like that. Now, somebody sent me a link to it and I watched it. And this was by the So Yeah guys. And they were making a plastic quilt. And what they did was they basically printed sheets of thin plastic using their 3D printer, which just meant it just laid down a couple layers of plastic. And they cut them so they were all like a square. And then they basically sewed them together. And yes, it did. It made a plastic quilt. But the problem being is you can't press your seams with a hot iron because it's plastic. So you kind of bend them. So you get kind of a wavy quilt, and you can't quilt it because that's just punching holes in plastic.
Mm-hmm.
However, it got my brain going, and there might be something if I think about it really hard or whatever that I could do. I don't know, but I would like to be able to do something practical though, not something like a plastic quilt. Like who wants a plastic quilt? But I don't know what yet. I haven't got any ideas on that one. Maybe it's just not to be. I don't know. But it's always in the back of my head. Um I would like to play with AI technology a little more for developing patterns. And it is getting better. I have tried before, and you get a hit and miss kind of a thing, but it's getting better. Geometrically, it's growing like crazy. Each month, the stuff is much more sophisticated, um, which is kind of scary because if you can develop a pattern using AI, the question is it your pattern or is it somebody else's? Or is it AI's pattern? Who's got the copyright on that sucker? Because it's not my intellect that created it, it's artificial intelligence. And that artificial intelligence, the key's on artificial. Because where it's getting its information is just from a whole lot of other things on the internet and stringing it together. So I don't know, but there's a lot of possibilities there with AI. Look, we can be afraid of it if we want to be, but guess what? It's here. It's not going to go away.
Use it as a tool.
Yeah. I mean, there will be those who will abuse it for sure, the scammers out there and whatnot, but we can't just dismiss it and say, well, it's not my cup of tea and turn your back on it.
I worked in technology all my life and in programming actually, and it used to be you used to have to code the programs by hand, right? Like you were writing a book, right? And then the last few years I was working, a lot of the programs were being assisted by a version of AI. It was another program would help you code it. So, and that sort of mentality has always existed in people that work in technology. So,
well, if you're on the Wednesday Sew Day, I was showing everybody on there my little foray into AI writing music, and it fascinates me. I mean, the new theme song that we use on Stephen Walter Live was completely generated by AI, and I created it within a minute. Like, and it does a really good job. It's scary. And I've been playing around with it with other things too. I mean, not always do you get something that makes complete sense, but a lot of times, yeah, it's pretty damn
I
good.
think it really will show that industry and stuff like that, that probably a lot of people that write jingles
Well, they're
for
being put out of work.
for products and stuff like that on TV. I imagine a lot of those people are losing their jobs.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is going to replace a lot. This is one time when AI, that's a serious consideration
Hmm.
there. So, just to finish this up, a couple of other questions. Are we still interested in sewing and quilting as we were when we first started? Are you? Does it still
Hmm.
give you the thrill?
I'm not sure if it gives me the thrill. I tend to be a little bit lazy when it comes to sewing. I have lots of ideas, but then I never end up doing a lot of them. Um, does it give me a thrill? That's a good question. There isn't anything else that's really grabbing my mind that I want to
No.
do that's other than sewing, but there are some projects that I'd like to do with sewing. So
Yeah, it doesn't. I still like it, but I find that I need now more than I did when I first started something to really get me going. I need to see a pattern or fabric or something that I'm really excited about, and then I want to work on it. Otherwise, it depends on my mood on a day. I really love doing machine embroidery. I still do. And sometimes that will take me away from working on a quilt.
I do actually. I'd like to make. I mean, I've done a lot of these shirts that are using just different patterns of fabric. It's the same shirt, right? I'd like to maybe make something a little bit more, a little different type of shirt or something like a little bit more.
More designer,
Yeah,
like what Adam made with the
yeah. I like the what
gray
Adam
work.
made with the gray work, and I'm sort of need to think a little bit more outside the box type thing as to maybe a different kind of fabric or something. A little bit different
Yeah.
or something.
I guess, too, what I'm thinking, too, is I need more of a challenge. And that's where the art quilt would come into. That would be definitely a challenge for me to see what I could come up with. And I really got to drive myself
Because
towards that.
I mean, if you go to like when we were at Liberty of London and we looked around and stuff, I saw some interesting clothing choices,
Mm-hmm.
and they had used some interesting fabric and that I would have never thought. I mean, a lot of the stuff looked like it was torn, crappy looking fabric, and they were
Mm.
just selling a shirt for like
Yeah.
five or
A
six hundred
lot.
dollars.
Yeah. Like, whoa.
So I thought, well, I could do that. I could get some crappy fabric and make a shirt out of it.
And sometimes I need to have a purpose for what I'm making to keep me interested. Um, I mean, I am happiest when I have the embroidery machine and my sewing machine going and my 3D printers, all of them working at the same time. I feel like I'm in a factory and or sweatshop. Everybody has a fetish. But yeah. But speaking of all of that too, we often get some people get upset with us on the channel as a whole. You know, there are four sections to the channel. There's the vlog that I do, which is where I tend to talk a little bit more about the news of the day and about 3D printing and about our gardening under grow lights and where we've been, trips, things like that, and plants. So that's what the vlog is all about. The Idiot Quilter part is more about what I've been working on as far as quilting and sewing and stuff like that. Videos I have found that I think are worth checking out that have to do with quilting, much more like future projects and patterns, my review of quilt stores. So that, the Idiot Quilter is very, very much a narrower focus. It's about quilting. So Chatty is, it started out that this was supposed to be Walter and I just discussing some topic or something that we had got and that kind of thing. Um, More with that. And it sort of was more of a lead in to our live on Sundays. Now our live on Sunday we talk about anything on it. People get upset when we start talking politics, for example, on our live. I've had a couple of people who got very indignant. Says, I thought this channel was all about quilting, and I'm really disgusted that you're getting into politics and the whole bit. Well, you know what I say to that? F off. My channel, my sandbox, my rules.
I mean, sometimes, yeah, you're not supposed to talk about politics or religion or any other stuff. But sometimes there are things
That
that
need to be spoken.
that bother us
Yeah.
that's happening in the world, and we like to chat about it.
And if people are coming here strictly because they think it's all going to be about quilting and the whole bit, then you're going to be disappointed unless you're just going to go to the So Chatty
if
part
it's
or
something,
Idiot Quilter quilt.
if it's something you don't want to hear,
Turn us
on here,
off.
turn us off. I mean, you don't have to listen to it.
No.
And the other thing is that for people get so upset about, oh, you have to stick to a topic.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
so what? We do quilting, or I do sewing, Steve does quilting, and we sometimes mix the two worlds. And so something affects us that's a common thing during the world. So, like, too bad.
It all comes down to what would be our mission statement for the channel. Well, we don't really have one, but I think what makes our channel a little bit more unique is the diversity of what we talk about. We're just not a one show pony here. We do not restrict ourselves put ourselves in a narrow little small little box. We branch out from that. Yes, our premise for this channel is to talk about being creatives. Usually involves quilting and sewing. But you can be creatives about other things. Also, because I have an educational background in the whole bit, I tend to want to also be informative too. And yeah, so that's not everybody's cup of tea. If someone's looking for something really, really specific, then you do a search on YouTube and you find what that is, because there's lots of that are very, very specific. We are not as specific. We branch out. So that's really how it works for us. And I think it's what makes our channel a little different from a lot of the other channels that are out there. Because if anything, you never know what we're going to say.
I mean, there's lots of other channels out there that get really into personal stuff.
We draw the line.
That we don't get into, so.
Yeah, there's a line. I mean, you may not think that we have a line, but there is a line where we will step over into that kind of thing. You don't need to know everything about us. I mean, we're fairly transparent about everything. But you're getting us as being genuine. Like when we talk about a product or something that we like or do not like, we're not sponsored by anybody. It is our honest opinion. If you get something out of that works for you, that's great. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, a lot of people these days, they have a lot of these ads in the middle of their program that advertises a product and stuff like that.
That they advertise.
They're
sponsored.
Or they'll promote that product on the channel, whether they like it or not, only because they're getting money for it.
Yeah, they're getting some form of payment for doing that. And I've had advertisers reach out to me to do something like that, and I ignore the emails. It's tempting at times because everybody likes to make a little money, but no, because I think then it undercuts how we approach the channel. We're honest, and we give you our honest opinion about stuff. I mean, it may not be something you agree with. That's okay. You're free to disagree. And you're free to do constructive criticism as well.
Yeah, like if you write a comment on our videos or whatever, if you don't, let's say you don't like politics or something like that, you don't make it a constructive
comment or say nothing at all.
Or say nothing at all
about it, because you're not going to get a response from us. We're not going to change for you. And this is what the ones I was talking about that come up. I thought you were a quilting channel. I'm disgusted because you're talking all about politics and all that. You can be as disgusted as you want. Go away. You don't have to watch. So yeah. But overall, our channel is diverse. We're very honest about what we talk about and our opinions. Sometimes we might be a little too honest about things, but there's no secrets here. And that's the guiding principle behind every video that we make. So there you go. I thought I'd bring that up because what's the future of our channel? Yeah, pretty much the same. New
We
topics
will change it as we see fit.
as we see fit, or if we find something that we think we should include
Mm-hmm.
in that, or start a new segment or something like that, then yeah, we're always open to those kind of things. That's why we always ask for your ideas, for your input with it. And I do try to answer or to make some kind of reply to comments that people make about things. So yeah, but I guess the bottom line is we're not here to serve anybody. We're here to share. There's a difference between the two. Okay, well, that's it for today. All chat and random discussion. Yeah, I guess it was. Who knows? We may have babbled on. Maybe you've gone to sleep by now. And if so, if you're watching this late at night, see you in the morning. Have a good sleep. And yeah, so we'll see you on Stephen and Walter Live on Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern, and everything next week. And maybe next week we'll have, for So Chatty, the shop hop. So that might be what's going to come up next if we go. We're probably going. Okay. Have a good one. Have a good weekend, everybody. Good week. And we'll talk to you later. Say goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye.